This week's movies: The Way, Way Back, Despicable Me 2, and The Lone Ranger. Directed by Gore Verbinski and starring Johnny Depp as Tonto, The Lone Ranger is a revisionist take on the old classic.
Justice is what I seek, Kimosabe.
In his review, A.O. Scott writes, "The film can't quite pull off the daredevil feats it has assigned itself. This is an ambitious movie disguised as a popcorn throwaway, and in trying to balance grandiosity with playfulness, it descends into nerve-wracking incoherence. Who was that masked man is the less relevant question then. What on earth were you thinking?"
I hate you!
Despicable Me 2 is the animated 3D action-adventure sequel to the 2010 film Despicable Me. In his review, Stephen Holden writes, "In its frantic Looney Tunes-style madness, the film brings to mind a cautionary children's story about an aspiring baker who learns the hard way that doubling the recipe for bread doesn't mean doubling the baking time. Once again, the lesson that more is not necessarily better, something rarely learned by blockbuster sequels, is forgotten."
Beedo, Beedo.
Well, who is this in all his awkward stage glory?
This is my son, Duncan.
Everybody lends a hand!
Oh my
Written and directed by Nat Faxon and Jim Rash, The Way, Way Back is a comedy-drama coming-of-age story. In his review, A.O. Scott writes, "The movie's title seems to refer to the rear-facing third seat of the massive old station wagon, but it also describes a hazy, bittersweet mood of recollection that hovers around the action like July humidity.
Return to your lady friend. Duncan, please return to your lady friend. Please let her know that this conversation was entirely about her."
The film underplays both comic moments and emotional explosions, and while this restraint makes The Way, Way Back pleasantly watchable, it also makes it feel small and anecdotal, a modest variation on something you've seen before.
You gotta go your own way. And you, my friend, are going your own way.
The Way, Way Back has the charm of timelessness, but also more than a touch of triteness.
You got a hell of a kid here.